Welcome to Her Remarkable History. Remember, to support, please subscribe. The horrific and heartbreaking execution of the Guernsey Martyrs. Now, in a previous video, we have looked into the dangers that Mary I symbolised in relation to the Protestant population of her reign. We briefly looked at the Guernsey Martyrs, but today we will delve fully into their story. After Mary I changed the crown's faith from Protestantism back to Catholicism, she made it a legal decree that all in her country, or those being presided over by her, comply and abide by her religious changes. But a vast majority of individuals did not want to deny their faith and therefore did not change. Those who were found out were caught up in what is known as the Marian persecutions, and the fate they faced was brutal and barbaric. Convicted of heresy, individuals were sentenced to death by fire and were burnt at the stake. The punishment was the same for all, no matter the status or class, bishop or poor man. Death by fire and being burnt at the stake was a fits-all sentence for heresy. The Guernsey Martyrs, as they were later known, were a mother and two daughters, Catherine Couches, Guillemine Gilbert, and Peratine Massey, and they all lived on the English Channel island of Guernsey. The three women were arrested for receiving a stolen goblet, but were found to be not guilty of that charge. An important piece of information is that Peratine was the wife of a Norman Calvinist minister who spread the Calvinist teachings and Protestant beliefs. He had left for London for a short period to avoid persecution. Now it had emerged that the charge for the goblet was a result of a lie told by Vincent Gosset, and he was punished by being placed in a public pillory and having his ear nailed to it. But this did not set the three women free. It had come to light that the mother and daughters did not share the religious beliefs required by the church. So, as a result, they were taken back to Castle Cornet and were later found guilty of heresy and then condemned to death. But the fate of these poor women, specifically one and her unborn child, gets worse. You see, legend has it that Peratine was great with child, meaning that she was pregnant. The unfortunate series of events started with the trio being held for 3 days before their execution on or around the 18th of July 1556. Their neighbours testified that they had been unwilling and defiantly refused to follow the religious ceremonies ordered by Mary I. All three were sentenced to death by burning, but the stumbling block was that Peratine was with child. You see, if this were pagan times, Peratine would have not been executed. But Catholics during the reign of Mary I, aka Bloody Mary, saw killing her and her unborn child as acceptable. All three women were to then be burnt together in the fire, each woman tied to her own stake. Fox, who wrote the Book of Martyrs, states that the three innocent women were first strangled, but the heat of the fire broke the rope, causing the poor souls to fall into the fire. Fox wrote that the time being come when these three good servants and holy saints of God, the innocent mother with her two daughters, should suffer in the place where they should consummate their martyrdom, where 3 stakes set up, at the middle post the mother, the eldest daughter on the right hand, and the youngest on the other. They were first strangled, but the rope broke before they were dead, and so the poor women fell into the fire. Peratine, who was then great with child, did fall on her side, where happened a rueful sight, not only to the eyes of all that there stood, but also the ears of those true-hearted Christians that shall read this history. For as the belly of the woman burst, as under by the vehemence of the flame, it is then said that the baby fell from its mother's belly into the fire, a witness to the execution, took the baby from the fire and laid it on the grass. But Helter Gosselin, the man in charge, ordered it to be carried back again and cast into the fire. Fox continues by saying, "And so the infant, baptized in his own blood, to fill up the number of God's innocent saints, was both born and died a martyr, leaving behind the world, which it never saw, a spectacle wherein the whole world may see the heresling cruelty of Catholic tormentors. 4 being executed, though only 3 had been condemned." Thank you for watching, and to support, please subscribe to Her Remarkable History. Thank you.